There comes a point in your life when you realize not everyone wants to see you at peace. There are people out there who thrive on your chaos. They feed off your frustration. They smile quietly when you lose control. And the truth? It's not because you've done them wrong. It's because your peace reminds them of everything they lack. Your calmness is a mirror they hate to look into because it shows them their own storms, their own insecurities, their own failures. They want you angry. They need you to lose your composure because the moment you lash out, the moment you react, they can point a finger and say, see, I told you, they're no better than me. But when you stay calm, when you stand firm in your peace, that's when you destroy them. That's when their plan crumbles. That's when you show strength they cannot match. So I'm here today to tell you, don't give them what they want. Don't hand over your power. Don't let their chaos infect your soul. Because your calm, your unshakable calm, is the most powerful weapon you'll ever have. When you choose to stay calm in the middle of provocation, you are doing something that most people cannot understand. See, they expect you to break. They expect you to explode. They expect you to lose yourself because that's how they control you. But the moment you stand in silence, the moment you don't give them that reaction, it unsettles them. It confuses them. Your calmness is not just about peace, it is power. It is a power that exposes the cracks in their own foundation. When you don't react, they have no fuel to feed their fire. They came to see a show. They came to see your weakness, but instead they are confronted by their own. And that's where the shift begins. The one who tried to shake you starts to tremble inside. Because nothing scares the insecure more than someone who refuses to be shaken. Your calmness becomes like a mirror. They look into it and they see everything they're trying to hide, their anger, their fear, their jealousy. And there you are, standing still, steady, like a mountain, unbothered by their storms. That is the moment their weakness is laid bare. You see, people who are loud, people who try to hurt you with their words, people who throw negativity at you, they do it because they are hoping you will fall to their level. They want you to be as low as they feel inside. And when you don't give them that satisfaction, you leave them standing in their misery alone. Your calmness forces them to sit with what they were trying to avoid, because your peace reminds them that they are the ones out of control, not you. And that truth burns them from the inside. Every word they throw at you, hoping to see you angry, hoping to see you break down, it all falls flat when you remain still. And in that stillness, their weakness speaks louder than any insult ever could. The calm soul doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to prove anything, because the calm soul knows real power is quiet. Real power is in what you choose not to say, not to do. And every time you choose calmness, you choose strength, that terrifies them. Your calmness isn't just silence, it's strategy. When you stay calm, you are playing a game they don't even know they're in. They think this is about who can shout the loudest, who can be the most disrespectful, who can hurt the most. But when you stay calm, you show them that you've already won. You show them that their weakness can't touch you. You show them that no matter how hard they try to drag you down, you are above their storm. And that eats at them. That breaks them down in ways you will never see, because the battle you're fighting is invisible. You are fighting with presence, with energy, with discipline. And every time you refuse to give them your anger, you are shining a light on their weakness, because only the weak need to attack. Only the weak need to destroy others to feel powerful. The strong stand silent. The strong let their peace speak for them. And that's exactly what your calmness does. It exposes who they really are without you ever having to say a word. Imagine someone trying to light a fire over and over, and you keep pouring water on it without lifting a finger. That's what your calmness does. They come at you ready to ignite drama, ready to pull you into their chaos. And you stand there like water, like peace, like clarity. No matter how hard they try, they can't get the reaction they want. And the more they try, the more they exhaust themselves. The more they expose how desperate they are for your attention, for your energy, for your downfall. Your calmness drains them. It leaves them with nothing to grab onto. And slowly they begin to realize they are fighting themselves, not you. That's the hidden power of calmness. It doesn't just expose their weakness, it forces them to feel it. It forces them to sit in the silence they hate, to hear the echo of their own insecurities. And the more you stay calm, the more that echo grows louder in their minds, until they can't run from it anymore. And here's the truth most people don't see. Calmness is not easy. It's not weakness. It's not surrender. It takes strength to hold your tongue. It takes strength to breathe through the storm. It takes strength to choose not to react when every part of you wants to defend yourself, wants to shout back, wants to prove your point. But when you stay calm, you are proving something much bigger. You are proving to yourself that no one controls you but you. You are showing that you are the master of your mind, your heart, your soul. And that mastery, that discipline, that unshakable peace, that's what exposes their weakness more than anything else. Because while they are flailing, while they are throwing their words like weapons, you are standing tall, untouchable. And in that moment, they see the gap between your strength and their struggle. And that's a truth they can't deny. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, remember this: your calmness is not just for you. It's a light that shows the world who they are. It's a mirror that reflects their weakness back at them. It's a wall they can't break no matter how loud they get. And with every breath you take, with every choice to stay calm, you are not just protecting your peace. You are exposing everything they try to hide behind their anger. You are showing them and the world that true strength needs no audience, needs no reaction. It stands alone. And that's what destroys them most of all. Because they came for a fight, but you gave them silence. They came to break you, but you showed them their own brokenness. And in the end, that's the greatest victory of all. When you give in to anger, when you let that fire inside burst out through your words, your actions, your energy, you hand your power over to the very person who tried to take it from you. They win. Because that's exactly what they wanted all along. They wanted to see you react. They wanted to see you out of control, because in that moment, they know they've got you right where they want you. Anger is easy to trigger. It's easy to manipulate. And once you're angry, you're no longer thinking with clarity. You're no longer focused on what matters. You're focused on them, on the insult, on the disrespect. And that's how they control you. They push your buttons. And you do exactly what they hoped you would do. But silence is what they fear. Silence is what they can't handle. Because silence means they didn't get to you. It means they have no power over you. It means you've kept your strength where it belongs, within you, untouched, unshaken. And that destroys them far more than your anger ever could. Because silence shows them they failed. And nothing frustrates a manipulator more than their failure. And the moment you let your anger run wild, you become what they wanted. You become predictable. You become easy to read, easy to control. You think you're standing up for yourself, but what's really happening is you're losing ground. Because your anger, no matter how justified it feels, takes you out of your power and puts you in their game. A game they design. A game where they call the shots and you keep reacting. And while you're busy reacting, you lose sight of your peace, your purpose, your path. But silence keeps you in the driver's seat. Silence keeps you focused on your goal, not theirs. Silence keeps you aligned with your strength, with your vision. It protects your energy like armor, shielding you from their chaos. Because the one who stays silent is the one who controls the room. The one who stays silent is the one who commands true respect. And that's the kind of power no one can take from you. That's the kind of power that leaves them powerless. When you stay silent, you're not being weak, you're being wise. You're playing at a higher level because you see the trap before it's set. You see the bait and you refuse to take it. And that frustrates them more than anything. Because people who try to provoke you, people who try to steal your peace, they don't know what to do with silence. They don't know how to handle someone who refuses to be moved. They throw their words, their insults, their attacks, and they fall flat. They hit nothing because you're not giving them a target. You're not giving them your energy. And in that moment, you win. You win because you kept your power. You win because you didn't let them shape your mood, your day, your destiny. You held your peace like a shield and they couldn't break through. That's what silence does. It holds your power tight. It keeps it yours. And it leaves them standing there empty-handed, confused, defeated. The world will try to convince you that anger is strength, that shouting the loudest means you're winning, that putting people in their place with harsh words is power. But don't fall for that lie. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. Real power doesn't need to be loud. Real power moves in silence, speaks in action, shows in discipline. Because silence takes more strength than shouting ever will. Silence takes self-control. It takes awareness. It takes wisdom. And when you master the art of silence, you master the art of keeping your power. Because no one can use your words against you if you don't give them any. No one can twist your anger into something you didn't mean if you don't hand it to them. And that's the beauty of silence. It protects you. It keeps you safe from their games, their traps, their drama. And it reminds them every time that you are not someone they can control. And I'll tell you this, there is nothing more powerful than someone who can walk through the fire and say nothing. Someone who can stand in the face of disrespect, of hatred, of provocation, and choose peace anyway. That's strength. That's power. That's the kind of discipline that builds kings and queens. Because it means you own yourself. It means you are not a puppet on their strings. You don't dance to their tune. You don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you fall. Instead, you rise. You rise by refusing to fall into their trap. You rise by choosing silence over chaos. You rise by holding your head high, your heart steady, your spirit calm. And every time you do that, every time you choose silence over anger, you remind them and yourself that your power is yours and no one gets to take it unless you hand it over. So the next time they try to pull you in, the next time they try to get under your skin, remember this: silence is your weapon. It's your shield. It's your strength. It's the thing they can't fight because it leaves them fighting themselves. Let them get loud. Let them throw their words. Let them reveal who they are. But you stay still. You stay calm. You stay powerful. Because at the end of the day, it's not the one who shouts the loudest who wins. It's the one who keeps their peace. And that peace, that silence, that unshakable calm, that's what will always, always hold your power where it belongs, with you. Calmness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, something you earn. It's a discipline, forged in moments when everything inside you wants to react, when your pride wants to answer back, when your heart wants to scream. But you choose differently. You choose stillness. You choose to rise above. And that choice, over and over, is what builds a legacy that lasts. Because people remember the one who kept their peace when the world tried to take it. People remember the one who stayed steady in the storm. Your calmness speaks for you long after the noise fades, long after the battles are over, long after the people who tried to shake you have moved on to their next victim. Your calmness becomes your mark, your reputation, your strength. And let me tell you something. That kind of discipline isn't easy. It takes work. It takes practice. It takes falling down, losing your cool, learning from it, and coming back stronger. But every time you choose calm over chaos, you are writing a story about who you are. A story that others will read. A story that will inspire. A story that will stand the test of time. The calm person isn't calm because life is easy for them. The calm person is calm because they've been through the fire and chose not to let it consume them. They've seen the storms, they've felt the pain, they faced the betrayal, and still they kept their head up, their heart steady. That's the discipline I'm talking about. That's the kind of strength that builds legacies. Because anyone can shout, anyone can fight back, anyone can let anger drive them. But it takes something rare, something powerful to stay calm when the world tries to pull you apart. And when you master that, when you choose peace again and again, you're not just protecting yourself. You're setting an example. You're showing the next person, the next generation, what real power looks like. You're building a legacy that says strength isn't in how loud you are. It's in how steady you stay when the noise comes. That's the legacy worth leaving. That's the discipline worth building. When people look back at your life, they won't remember the petty arguments you won. They won't remember the insults you fired back. They won't remember how loud you got in a moment of anger. What they will remember is how you handled yourself when it mattered. They'll remember how you stayed calm when others lost control. How you chose dignity when disrespect was thrown your way. How you walked away from fights that weren't worth your energy. That's the kind of discipline that echoes beyond this moment. That's the kind of calmness that builds something bigger than yourself. Because your calmness doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone who watches you, everyone who learns from you, everyone who looks up to you. And you never know who that is. You never know who's watching you choose peace. You never know who's finding strength in your example. That's how legacies are built. In the quiet moments, in the disciplined choices, in the calm that stands tall when the storm hits. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Calmness is hard. Calmness is a fight. It's a battle against your own ego, your own pride, your own desire to strike back. It's looking that anger in the face and saying, not today, not this time. It's choosing your future over this moment. It's choosing your legacy over your impulse. And that choice isn't made once, it's made over and over again. It's made in the small moments, the moments no one sees. The moments where you could let loose, where you could let your anger take over, but you don't. You breathe. You pause. You let the storm pass. And every time you do that, you get stronger. Every time you do that, you become the kind of person people look up to, the kind of person people remember, the kind of person who leaves behind a legacy of strength, of discipline, of peace. And that is worth more than any victory anger could give you. Your calmness builds bridges where anger would have burned them down. It opens doors that rage would have slammed shut. It creates opportunities that would never come to someone known for losing their temper. Because calmness earns respect. Calmness earns trust. Calmness shows the world that you can be counted on, not just when things are easy, but when things are hard, when people are difficult, when the situation is tense. And that's the discipline that builds something that lasts. That's what makes people remember your name in the right way, not as someone who reacted, but as someone who responded with wisdom. Not as someone who added to the chaos, but as someone who brought the calm. And in a world full of noise, full of anger, full of people trying to outshout each other, calmness stands out. Calmness shines like a light in the darkness. Calmness leaves a mark that time can't erase. So when you think about your legacy, think about the power of calmness. Think about what it says about you. Think about how it shapes the way people see you, the way they speak about you long after you're gone. Your calmness tells the world that you were a person of strength, a person of discipline, a person of vision. It tells the world that you didn't let small things steal your peace, that you didn't let the noise shake your foundation, that you built something real, something lasting with your choices. And that's how legacies are made, not in one big moment, but in 1,000 small ones, in the quiet decisions, in the silent strength, in the calm that holds steady no matter what. That is the discipline that builds a life worth remembering. That is the power of calmness. And that, my friend, is a kind of legacy that will outlive the noise, outlast the storms, and inspire long after you're gone. In the end, what truly defines your strength is not how loud you can be, not how fast you can react, not how well you can fight back in anger, but how still you can stand when everything around you tries to shake you. Your calmness, your silence, your discipline. That is your true power. Because staying calm is not about weakness. It's about knowing exactly who you are and refusing to let anyone pull you away from that truth. It's about holding your peace like a treasure and guarding it no matter what storms come your way. The world will test you. People will try to provoke you, to draw you into battles that are not yours to fight. But you have the choice every single time. The choice to stay calm, the choice to protect your energy, the choice to build a legacy that speaks of wisdom, dignity, and strength. Let them shout. Let them stir up drama. Let them reveal their own weaknesses. You stay steady, stay focused, stay powerful in your silence, because that silence, that calmness will outlast every storm, every insult, every attack. It will stand as a reminder to the world that real strength moves quietly. Real strength doesn't need to prove itself. It simply is. And when you choose that path, you're not just protecting yourself in the moment. You're building something that lasts, something that inspires, something that will be remembered long after the noise has faded. So stand tall, breathe deeply, and know that your calmness is your greatest strength. Thank you for listening. Stay blessed, stay strong, and may God bless you on your journey.